Good morning.
Hello, everyone. Corbin, get us started.
You just mentioned on the radio that most of the runs for the Bucks went for 3 yards or less, but when they had success, it seemed like they did a good job dressing up their runs. They had a lot of gap concepts out there,
Yeah,
pulling guards. What did you see how that impacted your front line in this game?
yeah. The point I'm making is that they were committed and they stuck to it. They weren't having to get 7 or 8 yard plays to keep them pumped up about it. They knew they were able to make yards and be positive and take advantage of it. They run back to back plays and with commitment. So they did. They ran a variety of scheme plays and they attacked us in a particular way that we didn't fit consistently enough to control the running game, and so they did a great job of controlling the football game. I thought, and that was exactly why you do what that style of play and that commitment, and the passing game off of it was really effective. That's what Tom's strength is the quick rhythm play action passes is probably the thing is most uniquely qualified, to do well, and he did it, and we didn't stop that either. We had a couple plays, we had a pick, and we knocked one down, but he hit 4 or 5 other ones that were really controlled the game, I thought, as far as moving the sticks, and allowed them to stay in the mode of run-heavy game plan.
Matty F. Brown.
Wait, Matty, what's up, man? You traveled.
What's up, Pete? I traveled, yeah. I hope you got back safe too. I can see that you have. I was just wondering, some of the execution errors we saw in coverage last Sunday, is that an example of how playing match coverage is a bit more difficult on the players, unlike the pass system, where you'd only soft sky a seam or something like that?
Yeah, at times, if you drop a match like we did on the touchdown pass, it can be a big play because everybody else is matched up. That we in backs return sometimes it's almost like playing man to man, and you drop your man coverage. In essence, that's really what happened, and so it was just a play, but it wasn't even a difficult play. It was a play that we had practiced, but we just didn't see it quite right, and we missed our op there, and they scored a touchdown on it. So there was a couple of those.
Yeah, when you said on Friday, Coach, that you still have a lot of learning in your scheme that will take place and you can get a lot better, is that kind of what you meant?
Yeah, yes, it is. It's the consistency, and because guys have to see things in the same fashion, and so they have to be together to recognize, here comes the crossing route, okay, I'm going to give it to you, you got it, I'll take yours. That kind of stuff is really intricate, and that's it hurt us early in the year, and it's just taken us some time. Matter of fact, I went back and watched Minnesota, just admiring Eddie Donatel's work with what they're doing there, and they're playing way cleaner than they were early too. They're in the same kind of time frames that we're on. They played a great game this week, and they still had a tough game against Buffalo, but they're off to a great start and win a lot of games with really good, solid defense.
Jen?
Pete, there was a sense when we got off the plane that you wanted to get right back at it this week. But why is the bye coming at the right time?
Well, it's coming at the time it comes at, so we're going to frame it as it's the right time. We're going to try to maximize this turnaround, because when you take a step back, perspectives can grow, and then we can see things a little more clearly, and the players will understand stuff. And for the young players, I think Kobe Bryant, we may be able to see him make a jump here in this little break that we have, just because once you get away from it, you can see a little more clearly. So that's one part of it. We go into this by fairly healthy, and so that means we can come out of it even better. And so that's a big. It could be a big boost to us as other teams continue to struggle to stay healthy and all that. So hopefully we can make that come to life, and it just helps. It helps us in all ways. So we're gonna get clearer, and we'll come back fresh and ready to go.
John?
Yeah, Pete, didn't ask you about this after the game, but just the way your kicker and punter are playing. Jason made another 55-yarder. I think it was 4 punts inside the 20 for Mike. Just the job those two have done this year.
Yeah, it's a good observation. Mike really put the ball just in great spots. Jason has been on it. He's banked a couple in, but he's having a great year, and we really are relying on him. You saw there was a decision early in the game. We had a choice. It was 4th and 5 or something like that. We could have tried to go for it there, but wanted to utilize Mike and back him up, and let's see how this game is playing out instead of making a big declaration early. I do think that those kinds of decisions are based on the quality of the guys and how much you can count on your guys, and so but they're doing a great job.
Bob?
Yeah, Pete, I sort of wanted to ask that big picture about going into the bye, where you feel like you guys are. I mean, being 6-4 in first place and things like that, but just kind of a thought on that, I guess. So
Yeah. I did make the comment, I think, in the locker room and even as we're getting off the plane, that, okay, we position ourselves here, and we all know that we're here, but we're not nearly as good as we could be. And, let's recommit as we come back to really go for it, because we have enough firepower, we have enough health. We're growing as a team coming together that can really take advantage of a first half positioning, and we'll see where we wind up with the Niners, after this week. But everything's ahead of us, and we are in control of everything, and so that's all we could ever ask for. Whether you won, you're 8-0 or 9-0 or 10-0, or you're on top in our division. Winning the division is a huge goal for us, and it is the only really goal that we deal with. You're trying to own the West, and so we'll go about that by coming back with a really firm commitment, and everybody on and feeling good and excited about it. This is a good mentality we have right now. Even though we had to give up a game right there, we come out of it okay.
Michael Sean?
Hey, Pete, what have you thought of the way Cody has played in the last 5 or so weeks?
He's getting better. He's improving. There's still areas of his game that he can tighten up, but he's been more aggressive. He's defending and defeating blocks better than he had. He's good. Always been a good pass defender. In our style, that guys do get matched up, and they as Matty pointed out, we do get they have to make their one-on-one plays, and so I'm hoping that he can continue to come through and make those tackles in the open field and get guys on the ground and just add to the overall. But he's doing good. We're mixing him. He's doing a great job on special teams. He's improving.
And just one more. What have you seen to make you feel like the third down defense that you guys had on Sunday is maybe an outlier? Will be going forward.
Yeah, well, they're throwing and catching. I'm hoping that not everybody throws the ball and catches the ball with guys hanging all over them like they did. You're 3 or 4 plays around from having a better balance in that. But Kobe was right on his guy on 3rd and 2, and the guy catches it for 3. And there's a number of plays like that where we're really on it. Mike Jackson had a play that he got PI'd on. I can't remember if that's a 3rd down play or not. But we're close enough to make our plays. Mike makes a great play, bats the ball down late in the game. Those are all things that against a great quarterback, which he is a great quarterback, and a great group of receivers. I know they had been dropping some balls in other games. They didn't drop anything. They owned the football, and so they whipped us. When we were real close. And hopefully, as we go forward, those plays come to us again as they have been a little bit in the last month.
Oh, sorry, real quick, one more. Was Brian Monet a healthy scratch, like just a game plan thing, or did something happen to him pregame or something?
Yeah, he was a healthy scratch. Because we anticipated them throwing the ball out, we wanted to make sure that we were ready with backup that could give us a little boost there, and the game didn't turn out that way.
Thanks.
I know, Matty, you want to ask that question too, I'm sure.
Brady?
Pete, the idea of the quote-unquote rookie wall, in your experience, how real is that, or how real can it be? And with all the rookies that you have, how top of mind is that for you?
Yeah, it varies. I don't think we can just throw everybody in a heap and categorize everybody the same in that regard. I think it just depends on the individuals. Depends on how worn down they are and all that. But it's just very, very much an individual thing. How guys handle it. This isn't a place that beats you down. We're not beating these guys down mentally. They're not. We haven't thrown them into the dirt and made it really hard on them, and in the mental side of it. These guys are upbeat and positive, which I think really helps you handle the challenges of the stress of that, and so I think we're going to be fine. But I'm real concerned about the individual guys, and our coaches, watching and communicating and looking for the messages and the signals that these guys could give us that they're they've been up against it and they're overloaded and then we'll try to find our ways to help them through that. So it's a very individual thing, and I think we're going to be okay. I don't see any guys in particular that have shown any signs of it at all yet. So in this break, in that regard, okay, we come back, we should be fresher, they should be better. We're sure going to tell them that they should feel like that.
I think the assumption when people hear that is they think it's a physical thing because college players only play 12, 13 games, but you're talking about how it can be a mental thing as well.
Yeah, I don't think you can separate it at all. I don't know who's talking that way. I don't think you could ever separate that because like Johnny Mitchell once said, the physical is much more mental. They're connected, and we'll try to manage our way through it.
Thank you.
Greg?
You guys have to look up who Johnny Mitchell was.
Sir, you don't often get 5 straight days with your guys, day and night, and travel and all that. What'd you learn about him?
Really just felt really connected. It was it was a smooth trip. Everybody that helped us facilitated it being so. Guys had fun. They were open to the change and the newness of it. And guys did a little bit of shopping and stuff. They brought some souvenirs home. Everybody was in a really good mentality throughout the time together, and they liked being together. And we didn't have any problem. There was no hitches in any aspect of it. That just makes us stronger. We just shared a huge experience, and unfortunately, the part that pisses me off so much is that we didn't capitalize on it and get the win, so that you could really celebrate it the way you'd like to. But it was a positive experience.
I was going to ask you, how does that translate now to playing 7 more football games? Just that, the intangibles.
We're ready to go. I wasn't the only one. There's a bunch of players that wish we could go right back at it too, with the same thought. Let's go take care of business and get on track. We shared that thought. That I wasn't a lone ranger there. So these guys are in a great place, but they still physically, we're going to try to take advantage of this. We're going to come back, healthier and stronger and fresher legs, and try to, take care of the next game, against the Raiders.
And one thing on the field in Munich, I was told that was the pitch for Bayern Munich because of the World Cup. They didn't need to bring in a field for you guys. Obviously, that was a factor in the game for both teams. Is that something that the league should look at if they're going to play European games, that maybe a European football pitch isn't the same as an NFL stadium? And
yeah, I think
maybe
we should.
too loose?
Yeah, I don't know soccer to know why they would like the field like that, but maybe it's, I don't know. But yeah, I think the topic is kind of on right now in fields in general, and we just like to keep getting better at it and understanding, how we can make the game safer and the game better in all ways. And that's not to say that it has to be natural turf versus artificial or whatever. I don't know. We just need to keep working at it. But it's really nice when it's uniformed, so I'm sure that they will pay. I know they paid attention. They talked about it when we were in London also. It was the same discussion.
Tim?
Pete, we've talked so much about how well Geno has played up to this point. Where are areas you think you would expect to see some more improvement from him coming out of the bye and going into the sort of the stretch run of the season?
Just continue to take advantage of the scheme and make sure that we're seeing our opportunities down the field. He's done a great job. He's taking care of the football in beautiful fashion. Our guys can get behind guys at times, and we got to make sure that we see that. And then we have to make sure that we're keeping our tempo going. We got caught tempo-wise trying to make things perfect at the line of scrimmage, and as they changed their looks, we changed our looks, and we ran out of time. It kept us under a little bit of pressure that, it hasn't been a big deal, but it's happened a few times. We could be cleaner there. We love to stay ahead of the tempo, and we fell prey to it a couple times, so we can do better there. But right now, I think let's go back to going. Let's get back on the practice field. Let's get to the game field. Let's keep playing football because we're excited about where we're headed.
Thanks.
Brady?
Just wondering, Pete, what have you thought of Geno's running this year? And did you say on the radio that you want him to run less?
Just in that I don't want him to get hit. That's all. I want him to get down. He can run all he wants as long as he doesn't get hit. And so he just got to do everything he can to avoid that. The defenses are so good at knocking the football out. It just makes us, he gets vulnerable to those hits. He got punched on and he got punched another time on another run that the ball got loose also that he didn't lose. I just want to take care of the football and take care of Geno too. So I love the way he's been running. I think he's been extremely effective. Not just, the touchdown pass to Tyler was a gorgeous example of moving out of the pocket and still staying alive and throwing a strike for a touchdown. He's doing all of that beautifully. So I just don't want him to get hit. So whatever that takes, if that means he has to run a little bit less or he's got to duck a little bit sooner or get out of bounds a little bit earlier, I want him to grow in his awareness in that regard.
Corbin?
We've gotten a chance to see Ken Walker III's dynamic playmaking ability, his ability to create something out of nothing. Looking at his development as a runner to this point, though, especially coming out of this game where it was a struggle to get much yardage, do you feel like he's still trying to find the balance between being patient, setting up his blocks, and getting downhill when he needs to?
Yeah, I think he's going to just keep getting better. I thought he did a nice job of contributing in the passing game, and showed us that he made some extra yards and caused some problems. And if he could have stayed on his feet, he would have, he probably had another 20, 30 yards out there. But certainly he's just going to continue to grow with the tempo of the line of scrimmage, and knowing, it's not like he has run the football enough in his lifetime. He knows how to run the football. He's got great instincts, but he's got to grow with our guys and our scheme and make sure that he can take advantage of it all the time. And he's a great front side runner. He bounce the football and get out. And you see us put him on the perimeter or something, but he's also a great cutback runner. And he's devastating when he comes back against the grain. And now he's spaced it all out. So we're just going to keep giving it to him and try to keep him well and healthy and growing and compliment him with Homer and DJ and really make this running game come to life.
Bob?
Yeah, we obviously haven't seen Drew Lock play any game, but what do you see from him in practice when he's practicing and all that, and they kind of lead you to believe that,
he's a terrific competitor. He loves going against the first group. He gets a lot of chances to throw the ball at the ones, and he's after it every day, trying to make a play, beat the corners, beat the safeties, the backers, and all that in a way so that just for some little swag ops and all that. He's got a real competitive nature about him. He's an active playmaker too. He can do stuff. He's really creative with this throwing motion and his arm, kind of the angles that he can come out with the football. He's got a lot of stuff to him. So I think he's really growing too. He's becoming one of our guys and understanding how we take care of the football and the responsibility of carrying that position on our club. And so when he plays, he's going to do a good job for us, and hopefully we can do it under the right circumstances where Geno doesn't have to come out for the wrong reasons. So.
And any update on D. Eskridge, or is he going to be okay? Or?
Yeah, he should be fine. Yeah, he got a bruised hand. He should be fine.
Greg?
Pete, can you clarify procedurally for Trey Brown, the 3-week thing? Do you get a bye week that third week becomes next week before you have to decide on him? Do you know?
No, we're doing it this week. Yeah. Okay. We have to decide this week.
And
you don't get the bye week does not enter into that.
Is he going to be on the active roster?
We're looking towards that happening. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, he's done really well. He's healthy. He's ready to go. So you'll see us doing something with that.
Thank you.
That's a lot of insight. I usually don't tell you that kind of stuff.
Boyle?
I must have been weak on the Thanksgiving upcoming week or something. I don't know.
Pete, you talked a lot about the energy in that building and the singing and all that. Follow up on that. If you mentioned fans singing Lumen Field, what would you like them to sing if they're going to adopt a song? You got any suggestions for them?
I don't want them to try to. They don't have to burden themselves with learning how to sing it in German or in some other language. We just need to sing in English. And but y'all were there. There's something about that unified connection. It wasn't like the people who wanted to sing. Everybody sang, and they were roaring, and I don't know. There was just an emotional part of that. That's why they do it, and that's why they love their game. They love their following and all that. And this is part of the way they celebrate. And after the game's over, they're all still sitting there. And I think they were still singing. Did they not? I didn't hear, but I think they were still singing, and because they like the experience of it. And I think our guys would have fun with it too. When we first got here and knew about the Sounders and all what they were doing and saw some of their celebration and watching their games, I thought, God, that'd be kind of fun. Why couldn't we be like a, that kind of a, experience? Because I think the fans would love it. And if they saw it and they could feel it, I don't know how it translated, across the airways and all, but it was just fun. And so I just throw it out there. What the heck?
Maddie, you have anything you want to ask there from the UK before we go?
That's very kind of you. Thanks. It's a bit of a heavy question, but what do you attribute not to share everything, but what do you put down the struggles fitting the run when you're in the forefront to, Pete?
Talking about the 4-man front?
Yes.
Yeah, it's just different than when we play our 5-man front, and it just calls for a little bit different approach in the different coverages. The additional force players come from different angles and different spots. Sometimes they come out of the 2 deep looks as opposed to being up in the 3 deep looks, and we're more oriented to rushing the passer. When we're in that. So we have to do a good job to fit them up. We're having really good success in the 5-man fronts in general, and but when a team throws the ball a lot, we'd rather be in the pass rush mode when we can. So that's why that's pretty understandable how that works, and it fits our personnel to do so.
Thank you, everyone.
Come back.
Have a good bye week.
All right, see ya.
Thanks.
Happy
Thank you.
Thanksgiving to everybody too, huh? Have a great break, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.